how do you make big and important decisions? Do you have a guiding principle that is going to help you know that the decision you're about to make is a good one? Well, how are you going today, church? It is so good to be with you in the book of 1 Corinthians again as we spend some time in God's Word. Here in chapter 7, we know it's Paul addressing the church in Corinth about sex, marriage, and singleness. But I love as we get towards the end of this chapter that we actually can see very plainly the way that Paul is thinking to help them make the decisions. He basically puts on the table how he's thinking so that they may make a good decision with these big decisions that they're considering. Check it out with me. Verse 35. He says, I say this. I'm teaching you all this stuff and giving you this advice, this teaching, for your own benefit, not to lay any restraint on you. I don't want to land hard and fast anywhere on this, but I say it to promote good order and to secure your undivided devotion to the Lord. To secure your undivided devotion to the Lord. Now, needless to say, the church in Corinth, there's people there that have got some big decisions to make about their relationship status. But Paul leaves bare the way that he's thinking here so that they can also, I think, make good decisions about other things as well. And it's useful for us too. Maybe it is to do with relationships, maybe it's to do with work, maybe it's as simple as the next 8 hours of our day so that we may live well and serve our God well. And what is that principle? He says, I say it to promote good order, and to secure your undivided devotion to the Lord. Now, what is key, what is paramount for the way that we live as followers of Jesus? It's to make sure that we are making decisions that mean that we are honoring God first, isn't it? That we are glorifying Him, that we are removing any of the distractions in our life so that we may have an undivided devotion to our God. I think that's a helpful guiding principle for how we make the decisions of our life, isn't it? But why? Why would we want to have this guiding principle? Well, I hope that you can answer that question. But when it boils down to it, this undivided devotion to our God, well, it comes back to knowing that He has had an undivided devotion towards us, doesn't it? It's knowing that before the beginning of time, God had a plan where He was going to put on flesh and He was going to step onto the stage of human history as the great God-man, Jesus Christ. And He was going to have an undivided devotion in living the perfect life in our place, in dying a death on a cross in our place, in being punished and judged in our place, in rising to new life, to give us a hope for a future where we would know that we too, with Him, will rise again. Jesus had an undivided devotion towards us. God gave us His best when we were at our worst. He was devoted to saving us and seeking us out. And I think that this is pretty good reason for us to have an undivided devotion back towards God, isn't it? That as we seek to live for Him, we're doing so knowing that He has lived for us. That's great news. That is a wonderful posture to live by, to make decisions by, for it honors Him, it glorifies Him, it praises Him, it thanks Him, it brings Him delight, it brings Him praise, it brings Him the glory that He deserves for the great things that He has done in each of our lives, individually and collectively. So would we be a church? Would we be a people who make decisions that promote an undivided devotion to our God, the one who saves us, who loves us, and will save us when He returns? Thanks, church.